Hi guys, my name is Amir, welcome to Racing Hard, and today we're gonna do the news. 2023 Bentley Flying Spur Speed will be the last Bentley that will have a W12 engine. Bentley is a part of Volkswagen Group, and since Dieselgate happened, Volkswagen and all of its brands are trying to get away from this pollution producing car brand and trying to get into an electric era as soon as possible, and thus we see movements like that. W12 engine was a part of Bentley since 2003, and it was on Audis and Phaetons since 2000. To be honest, I never liked this engine W12 because it's very complicated, it's very heavy, and it's really expensive to maintain those engines. And thus, the main and this is why Bentley is depreciated so much on the used market, because this engine is hard to maintain and expensive to maintain. So yeah, no more W12 engines in Bentleys, but I guess nobody cares. If you cared about W12 engines, type down in the comments down below what do you think of it. I personally would prefer a V8 any day of the week. KTM X-BOW GT-XR, an Austrian motorcycle manufacturer that occasionally make cars, decided to make an upgrade on their X-BOW. So this psychopath will have a 500 horsepower, will have a carbon fiber monocoque, and will go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.4 seconds, which is blisteringly fast. So the engine is lifted from Audi. It's a 2.5 liter 5-cylinder that you can find in TTRS, RSCO3, and a bunch of models that I can't remember. But yeah, it's an awesome engine and it produces very beautiful sounds. So this car will cost you 2,084,000 euros, and it even comes with an air conditioner, which is kind of odd when you look at it. But this is why we love KTM. I personally don't like their motorcycles, but when it comes to cars, these things look like psychopaths. A new Volkswagen Tiguan pretty much looks like a new Volkswagen to me. So yeah, big elephant in the room, Ferrari released their SUV. I'm pretty sure if you told Enzo Ferrari that someday his car company will produce an SUV, he will lose his mind and spit in your face, because Enzo Ferrari never cared about his road cars. He only made the road cars so that he can go racing. That is it. This thing will have a naturally aspirated V12 with a hybrid system that you can find in other V12 Ferraris. It will have air suspension and suicide doors, which I found to be really interesting. I think they made it just to be different. What I found to be really interesting is that it looks very similar to the Toyota Crown Sport Cross concept. Here's the two. Can you guess which one is which? Type down in the comments down below. Yes, it's that one. Other than that, it will have two transmissions, the same stuff that you can find in Ferrari FF and later called Lusso. I would love to see the meeting where the people who were deciding it, how they should call their SUV, were like, no, we should not call it an SUV. It's a Ferrari SUV. We should call it FUV. Mamma mia, bellissimo, grazie. Yeah, so they're saying that it will be the fastest SUV in the market, and which makes me wonder in what metric, because Jeep Trackhawk, Lamborghini Urus, Bentley Bentayga, and I think somebody else, I'm not quite sure, I can't remember, stated that they're the fastest SUVs in the world. And they are the fastest, but in different metrics. Which one is gonna be which one Ferrari is gonna be the fastest at? We're living in the world when an SUV by Ferrari is a thing. An electric car Evetta that was inspired by Isetta. Well, you can say that from the name. A little backstory on this. So back in the 50s, in the post-World War, the Second World War, a little Italian brand decided to make a little car that was probably designed after a fridge. What's interesting about this is that BMW decided to make this Isetta under its own brand. So it became a thing. And somebody decided to make a modern version of Isetta, but with an electric powertrain. There will be three versions. The regular coupe, I don't know how to call it. It has a one door. There will be a convertible, and there will be a cargo version for whatever reason. So yeah, the car will have one door that it's, well, in the front, which is odd. I wonder how you park that thing next to a wall and how do you get out. If you wanted a car from the 50s that was inspired by a fridge, this is the way to go. A deal between Red Bull and Porsche had fallen through. Well, too bad for the both of companies. I'm not quite sure when it happened, but it happened, nobody cares. Pagani had introduced a camera that will cost as much as a sports car. So an Italian camera company under the name of Ghibellini, which specializes on making wide shots cameras, decided to collaborate with Pagani. And this is what they came up with. It's called the GP850 HP. The thing was styled to look like an 90th century cameras. Here's a picture. What's interesting about this, the whole thing is really heavily inspired by the Pagani Huayra, which to me is the best looking thing that was created by a man. This thing will cost you about $75,000 approximately. Well, I'm saying that approximately because each one will be custom made. I'm not sure who will be buying those cameras, but what I can say for sure that they look beautiful. In the Chinese town of Jiangsu, I'm sorry that I mispronounced that, I will put it down here. So they did the first test of magnetic levitating car. And the way they did it is that they put special equipment in the regular car, like it was a normal car, and they put a special equipment to give the car a magnetic field. The car weighed about 2.8 tons with the equipment, and they built a special road underneath it. So the car was able to levitate in the air about 35 centimeters from the road. And this is not the first levitating experiment in China. They are using this technology in their public transport for trains. And the maximum speed of magnetic levitating train in China is 430 kilometers per hour, which I find to be amazing. What do you think of that, Elon Musk? Rivian and Mercedes-Benz might collaborate to produce electric vans in Europe. Mercedes will collaborate with Rivian to, well, there's talks about it, but the point is that they're trying to collaborate with each other to cut down the costs of manufacturing. However, they will not be using the same platforms for their electric powered vehicles. They will be using separated platforms, but they will have the same production line to cut down the cost for the factories that are being used. We'll see what happens with that. Mercedes was trying to collaborate with Tesla. Rivian was trying to collaborate with Lincoln. It's been really complicated for both of them, so we'll see what happens. Apple 14 and Apple Watch will receive crash detection. So yeah, Apple has introduced a new feature to their iPhones and their new Apple Watch, the fancy one. And the way it works is that both of those devices use accelerometer, gyroscope, and a G sensor. So they will be using the readings from those sensors to detect when you had an accident and to call an emergency services in case you need one. Apple is saying that crash detection was tested on more than 1 billion hours of crash and driving data. I love the fact that tech companies are trying to make the lives of ordinary drivers much easier. Still on the subject of Pagani, Pagani had introduced a new hypercar. It's called the Utopia. It was named after a book that carries the same name, written by Thomas More, that was published in 1516. And the car will have a mid-engine mounted V12 made by AMG, producing 864 horsepower and having 1000 Newton meters of torque. It will be produced in 99 examples, which of course were sold by now, costing 2,100,000 euros, which is mind-blowing. But I'm just gonna shut up for now and let you enjoy the beauty of this car. Ford had revealed their new Ford Mustang. Well, it's pretty much based on the previous generation Ford Mustang. Kind of looks like a facelift to me, but I still love the styling, and I love the fact that they didn't make an all-wheel drive or a hybrid version of it, even though they were trying to say that they will, well, according to their LinkedIn account. So the bottom line is never trust anybody on the internet, even me. Do you know what could become the most popular convertible in China? The Chinese brand under the name of Wuling Honggong Mini EV, which is a collaboration between Saks and General Motors, had introduced a convertible version of their very popular hatchback. I mean, in 2021 alone, they sold 244,000 examples of those. Just in comparison, Tesla Model Y sold 140,000 examples of their Tesla Model Ys. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is, I mean, look at this thing. It's so cute and adorable. You just want to cuddle with it. 2023 Toyota GR Corolla. Pricing. For those who don't know, Toyota had introduced a spicy version of their Corolla, which is called the GR Corolla, that has 300 horsepower 3-cylinder engine powering all wheels. They made 3 versions of it. The first one is called the GR Corolla Core, which will cost around 37,000 US dollars. You can opt for a driver's package, which will cost you around $1,180, which adds a Torsen limited slip differential, a red painted calipers, and that is it. This version comes standard with 18-inch wheels and Michelin Pilot Sport 4S rubber, which I find to be interesting actually. A base model with a Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. That's awesome. The second version is called the GR Corolla Circuit Edition, which will cost around $44,000. The Circuit Edition comes with a more aggressive front bonnet, carbon fiber roof, and a Torsen limited slip differential for the front and the back. The third edition is called GR Corolla Morizo Edition, which will cost around 51,000 US dollars. It is a limited edition that comes with 2 seats. Yes, a 2-seater Toyota Corolla. There are a bunch of weight savings, around 45 kilograms in total. The car comes with more boost, different suspension settings, and more aggressive rubber. It comes with Michelin Cup 2s. Personally, I would prefer the Core Edition with the driver's package, because I wouldn't pay 50 G's for a Toyota Corolla. Or I would go for the Yaris, which is smaller and much lighter. Comment down in the section below which one would you prefer. Still on the subject of Toyota, finally a turbocharged variant of the GR86. Yes, you might think, finally a turbocharged variant of the GR86. But here's the thing. It's not a turbocharged Boxer 2.4 engine that is currently in BRZ and the GR86. It's a three-cylinder lifted from the Corolla that we spoke about earlier. And it wouldn't be a production car. It will be a special track edition that Toyota will be racing in Japanese Super Taikuyu racing series. And it's mainly an excuse for them to experiment with biofuels and stuff like that. So yeah, there wouldn't be a turbocharged GR86 or BRZ anytime soon. So that is it for today. We're gonna be doing those news twice a week, and we have a bunch of new videos coming up next week, so make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of them.